Hey, everybody, welcome to the Soul Rehab Project. This is Sarah Saxby, and this is the podcast where we talk about truth because everything in our life has been a lie. In today's episode, I'd like to talk about judgment, just the whole idea of judgment, being judged when we leave these bodies, and what exactly is being judged. And if you have watched or listened to my podcasts before, you know that I always point my finger at what doesn't check out. And I'm going to share something that I learned or that I remembered recently. And this whole judgment thing isn't checking out for me. And I want to explain that. But first, if you would like to bring me to your stage, to a group, to meet with me privately, go to the link in my bio and reach out to me, and we can talk about what that work together will look like. The second thing is use discernment in everything that you see and hear. Everything that is external, you need to run it through your inner guidance system to know if it is truth for you. And that includes what I am saying here. One thing that I was thinking about is that I've been through a lot of things in my life. A lot of things, really difficult things. And I never was really sure why I had to go through all that. And more, as time unfolds, I realize exactly why I had to go through such things. If I didn't, I would never have the perspective I do on this reality, this matrix that we are in. I would never understand it the way that I do and be able to point my finger at what is not working. I try to be very practical and I try to explain things in a way that everyone can understand. But keep in mind that I am also explaining them from experience. I am taking my experience in certain things and comparing them to the reality that we are in, the reality inside this matrix. And it's so crazy how it just seems to all fit. And what fits is this whole judgment thing. Because at first I'm like, I don't think judgment exists, but perhaps it does. But let me explain how I'm seeing that there's a disconnect here. And I think you all will enjoy this. A little bit about me. I am not on board with hierarchies or quote unquote authority. I have a problem with it. Always have. Some people do, some people don't. I'm one of those people that I spent decades working inside hierarchies. And within all of those hierarchies, there was incompetence and abuse. I was abused in every single hierarchy I ever worked in. So I have a problem with it because a lot of times the person you report to or the person 5 up from you, there's something that's not right. And in addition to hierarchies, what also goes on inside corporations and within the hierarchy is a performance review. There are people above you that, for one reason or another, know how you should perform. They know what your performance should be. When you work inside a corporation, and a lot of them are corrupt. Where there's hierarchy, there will be corruption. That's hard not to agree with. A lot of corporations, systems, institutions, there's corruption because there's hierarchy. A lot of things to hide, a lot of places to bury things. So every year you get a performance review. There's someone above you that is rating your performance, telling you if you performed correctly. You have to perform to do your job. Because if one day you decided that you were just going to be your true self, and I don't mean this fake authenticity shit that's out there right now. I mean, you went through a huge situation that just took all the performance out of you, and now you're just being real. You couldn't even work at a corporation. You couldn't do it anymore because you have to perform to work there. That's what's being judged is your performance inside the company. You stop performing, you lose your job. Somebody higher than you, somebody better than you, someone that knows more than you is judging your performance. You perform. What are we doing inside this reality? The moment we wake up in the morning, we start performing. We put on our costumes and we perform. We have to perform to get through the day. We have to be someone. Put on our costume and be that person to get through the day. We don't even know who we really are. We're a worker. We're a mom. We're a dad. We're a sister. We're a manager. You're someone. You're performing your life. Inside this matrix, you have to perform. Everyone has an image. Do you think you're posting who you really are on social media? That's not Facebook worthy, who you really are. So perhaps when we leave these bodies, it's the performance that's being judged. Because if you were really who you really are, what's there to judge? A perfect soul, perfect consciousness that never could ever make a mistake? You can't judge consciousness. You judge a performance. So what happens if you stop performing? In a corporation, you lose your job. Inside this matrix, what happens? What happens when you stop performing? And not only that, when we leave these bodies, who's judging us? Only our performance can be judged. So who is our boss? Who's our boss inside this matrix that's judging our performance? The only place a performance exists. Like a corporation, there is a boss judging you. Inside a matrix, what's judging you? What's judging your performance? You don't perform anywhere but inside a matrix. You don't need to. I struggle to believe that I spent almost 4 decades within hierarchies, being abused, being a part of incompetence and abuse, and I'm going to be in another one when I leave this body? I'm going to have to go through a performance review? Only if I perform. Only if I keep performing will I be judged. That's the only thing that can be judged. You can't judge a perfect soul. It made no mistakes. It couldn't possibly. Who's above consciousness to judge it? Is the key to stop performing? That's my question. If only a performance can be judged, what happens when we stop performing? What happens when we stop following the terms and conditions of this matrix? Same thing that happens if you do that inside a corporation. Same rules apply. They'll let you go. Isn't that what we want?